These people are practicing the occult.
Billionaire Jeffrey Epstein is expected to appear in federal court in Lower Manhattan tomorrow,
using trauma-based mind control to release spirit energy.
How serious are these charges against Epstein?
Is Epstein going to cooperate? Because back in the day when he signed the non-prosecution agreement, it also protected co-conspirators.
The emails say these girls had psychic powers.
Agents hauled out multiple bags of evidence from disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Who knows what type of people may be involved in this conspiracy?
And he also had a lot of girls there all the time.
Great point. This guy's a billionaire with a lot of wealthy and high-profile friends. Should those people be worried about Epstein taking them down with him, Alex?
Jeffrey Epstein went from teacher to Wall Street to uber wealthy.
There's a secret religion being played out right before your eyes, and they're all in on it. And let me tell you that this goes deeper than you can ever imagine. This is some nasty, wicked stuff. And we'll tell you what we can and show you the connections to the mystery religion of today. There is a spiritual wickedness in high places. Well, thank you for watching today's episode of Spiritual Wickedness in High Places. This is episode 6, and we have entitled this episode, Who is on the List? And we're going to go through and explain to you who is in these files and what they have done, any connections that they have. And I want to say right off the bat, just because their name was mentioned in these Epstein files does not mean that they were a part of all this. Jeffrey Epstein was a man who kind of feigned as a philanthropist, and he would get in with these big-name tech billionaires and all these other people and say, hey, why don't we start a charity? And that's how that was kind of the line that he used to get close to these guys, from what I've read. And so there's a lot going on. The whole thing's a mess, but there were men in the release of these Epstein files that it looks terrible. There are people resigning from high-level positions all across the world, and it seems like this has been the first flick of a domino, and who knows how far it's going to go, who knows how wide it's going to spread, but I say burn the whole thing down, baby. I say get rid of all of these people. I say absolutely, if they've been involved in something nefarious involving Jeffrey Epstein, they ought to go to prison. They ought to lose their job. This is evil. These people probably ought to suffer a whole lot more than that, but I won't say that on this platform. And I'm going to tell you, I say burn it all. Burn the whole thing to the ground. And that's my opinion on this. I want to thank you for watching, of course. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you will, and smite your like button, and that'll be a great help, and we appreciate that very much. I want to encourage you also to follow us on Twitter. We've had several hundred people follow us on Twitter. We're getting close to 20,000 followers on there, so check us out. And we are going to start this video off by posting some of the things that we have seen on X, people who are losing their jobs over the Epstein files. There's a man here, the Emirati CEO, who sent a torture video to Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested by the UAE authorities after resigning from his company. He's been investigated by authorities, and they're giving these people the time to run away. I got his name right down here, if I can show it to you here in a second. But this man is named... His name is Sultan Ahmad bin Sulayem, resigns. And he was DP World CEO, and he was named in the Epstein files. He actually sent a letter, or an email rather, to Jeffrey Epstein saying, thank you for the torture video. How deep and how dark does this get? Well, this person right here alleges that he has been arrested by the UAE authorities, and I say, thank God, arrest them all. Another person right here is allegedly is from Leading Report on X, saying Barack Obama's White House official Catherine Rumler is resigning from Goldman Sachs after ties to Epstein. And then there's another little beautiful little thing here that just dropped. It says Ohio Senator John Husted took over $100,000 from Epstein co-conspirator Les Wexner, including months before voting to block the release of Epstein-related documents. And there's several people reporting on that, and so the shoes are dropping, buddy, and the fallout is here. And people are starting to be arrested. People are starting to lose their jobs. People are starting to resign from high-level CEO and tech positions, and it can't come soon enough for me. Now, I want to tell you, this Al Jazeera, actually, surprisingly to me, did a great article on navigating the Epstein files, and I'm going to just show you what is actually on there from this website. And they've put together a whole, I mean, it's really actually really good, explaining how the island's laid out, what he was doing, what he was charged with, and the things that the actual crimes he was charged with. So there's a lot to this, and when we find out who he was involved with, it gets pretty hairy really, really quick. Okay, so there's this inner circle that he had, the Ghislaine Maxwell, and she was friends with him since 1990. Jean-Luc Brunel, which is a French modeling agent. And then there's a guy named Darren Indike, who is Epstein's personal lawyer and involved in the inner workings of his finances, and he was named in Epstein's will to receive $50 million. What's up with that? Richard Kahn was his accountant. A man named Harry Beller was his financial advisor, and Leslie Groff was one of his personal assistants. And so these people, they had to have known what was going on. These people had to be a part of the whole mess. I mean, they had to know what was going on. But there are other people that he was involved with as well, and this document seems to indicate, and I've seen several people say this, that Prince Andrew, the younger brother of Prince King Charles, was actually stripped of his royal title in October last year. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer called for this man to testify before the U.S. Congressional Committee earlier this month. Police have also said they were reviewing allegations that a woman was taken to the address in Windsor in 2010, and so that's not good. And also Peter Mandelson, the UK's former U.S. ambassador, resigned from the Labour Party last week and is under police investigation. Email suggested he leaked market-sensitive government information during the 2008 financial crisis. Donald Trump's in there 4,000 times, but he actually claims innocence and says that he never was a part of anything nefarious. He's maintained that he has never gone to the island, although I think that he is actually a big part of as to why it has taken so long for this to come out. I don't know if he's playing 4D chess or what, but something just is weird about all that. And then we have the Crown Prince of Norway exchange emails with Epstein after his 2008 conviction. And the big one here that some people are really struggling with is Ehud Barak, the former Israeli prime minister, is mentioned in multiple documents with evidence of correspondence on several occasions after Epstein was convicted. One exchange in 2017 shows plans for Barak to stand Epstein's New York residence. Barak has acknowledged his interactions with Epstein, but said he was never involved with any inappropriate behavior. And there are audio recordings of Jeffrey Epstein teaching Ehud Barak how to start a company after he goes in from public life back into the private sector and use his connections to make millions of dollars. And that's actually, I've listened to that. That is an audio recording within the Epstein files. And so his connections with him are very plain. And by the way, I can give grace to people who might have rubbed shoulders with him before 2008. I can give grace to that. But if after 2008, when he was convicted of the things that he did with young ladies, if you are involved with Epstein after 2008, I have no excuse for you. I have none. You knew what you were getting involved with. You knew who you were messing with, and yet you still did it. Shame on you, and I hope that I really think you ought to lose a lot. Multiple emails from the Microsoft co-founder dating back to 2013, Bill Gates. There's an email alleging that he got a disease from Russian girls, and some really wild stuff in there if you're going to look that up. That's all alleged, obviously. Bill Clinton said was involved with him. And by the way, there's this famous painting in Epstein's Island of Bill Clinton wearing a dress, and but Bill Clinton actually maintains that he did nothing wrong. And there you go. Elon Musk was supposed to visit the island apparently, but he claims he never went there, and he says that he denies any wrongdoing. Richard Branson, the British entrepreneur, Virgin Group co-founder, appears in hundreds of files. However, Branson has maintained that his meetings were limited to group and business settings. Sarah Ferguson, multiple emails. Steve Bannon, Trump's former top advisor, appears to have sent and received thousands of messages, mostly between 2018 and 2019. They did a big interview together with Epstein. And so they knew each other. Howard Lutnick, the billionaire businessman, now the U.S. Commerce Department secretary, had planned to visit Epstein Island and Little St. James with his family. And guys, Trump is appointing people who were involved with Epstein. He just did it. And then you got this Noam Chomsky. The intellectual appeared in multiple documents, some suggesting he advised Epstein on media coverage of his allegations. Deepak Chopra, self-help guru, appears in files that show communication after his 2008 conviction. Deepak Chopra is a big New Age wizard, and basically he's one of Oprah Winfrey's spiritual mentors. And so throw your book out, your Chopra books out, if you haven't already, but that's another good reason to do so. Arian de Rothschild, and by the way, Rothschild is a buzzword for globalist bankers. You need to know that name. The head of Edmund de Rothschild Group met Epstein multiple times in New York and Paris before his 2019 arrest. Why would you be meeting with him? Why? Sure is strange. Miroslav Lavjak, a Slovakian national security advisor, resigned after emails about young women surfaced with correspondence dating to 2018 when he was foreign minister. This man is the foreign minister of Czechoslovakia, and he is working with Epstein. Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, visited the island and had plans to visit Epstein's New York home. Thorbjorn Jagland, I'm trying with these names, the former prime minister of Norway, is now subject to criminal investigations for corruption based on email exchanges with Epstein, the former prime minister of Norway. That's a big deal. Other names including Peter Thiel, Larry Summers, Steve Tisch, Jack Lang, let's see here, Borg Brindy, World Economic Forum people. You got Mona Jewel, Norway's ambassador, Terj Rod Larson, all these people, Brad Karp, you got Casey Wasserman, and Brett Ratner, director of the new documentary U.S. film Melania Trump. What a mess. I want to show you this video right here. This is Nancy Mace, and Nancy Mace is one of 4 Republican people that has seemingly proven it. It seems right now that we have at least 4 people in the American government that are not tainted by this. That's Nancy Mace, Thomas Massey, Laura, I forget the other one's name, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the Colorado representative, I forget her name, Lauren, something like that. But Nancy Mace has said that she's going to start naming names. She's got to get all her ducks in a row so she doesn't get sued for, or break any laws for revealing names of victims. So she got to cover herself legally. But she's saying that these are some of the names that are going to come out. And this person alleges that they're Bill Gates, Leon Black, Jess Stanley, and David Copperfield. So
are there any names on the list that you can reveal?
Well, Bill Gates is going to be on there. I've talked about him. Leon Black is another one who's been mentioned in the press. Again, when it comes to some of the female individuals, I want to make sure that I'm not revealing the names. We have vetted the list of females one time. I found more names yesterday, so we're going to do a second vetting of those names. The magician, whom everybody knows, is going to be on the list. Jeff Staley is another one who's going to be on the list. So some of these names you're going to recognize, but then there are others who worked in the houses, who clearly witnessed things, that I'm going to ask to come forward and answer questions.
And have you seen anybody in the? I guess what I'm getting at
so
here.
that's basically what she's saying there. Now, listen. At this stage, there are. I believe every man should have his day in court. I believe that every man is innocent until proven guilty. But there are just some things here that just look terrible. And, Mel Gibson, I remember him years ago, was saying that he left Hollywood because of the things that they were into. And no doubt, Mel Gibson is no saint and no Christian hero or anything like that. But he was saying things a long time ago about the nefarious nature about the political elite and the Hollywood elite, some of the things that they were doing. And I want to just play just a little bit of this for you so that you can kind of get the mindset of what he was into. And he saw this a long time ago, and he got out. And this post right here, Valerie Ann Smith says, Mel Gibson said in 1998, and mainstream media portrayed him as a raving lunatic. He was talking about everything in the Epstein files. Mel was canceled before canceling became a thing. No studio would work with him. He only would come back to relevance after making Passion of the Christ. No studio would fund it, so he used his own money. Hollywood is the modern Sodom and Gomorrah. So listen to what Mel Gibson was saying a long time ago.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about this.
He's basically saying he got into Hollywood and he started seeing a bunch of nefarious stuff happen, and he started to kind of put two and two together and slowly realize what was going on.
Town, and about the people in it, that were like, surely that couldn't be, because a whole place can't be like, Weird Town, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill, and it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think.
Now, I'm just going to pause right there because he uses some colorful language, but you can go look that video up yourself. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Even if there are men who are involved in this that don't necessarily get prosecuted in this earthly government, in this earthly realm, I want to tell you that it doesn't matter if they're not on the list there in Epstein's world. There's a list in heaven, and that list is perfect, and it's not redacted, and it's not blotted out. And the Bible says here in Revelation chapter number 20 about the great white throne judgment, I saw a great white throne and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. Verse number 12 says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which are written in the books according to their works. Now, a lot of people talk about the book of life, and there's songs written about the book of life, but what about these other books? The books were opened. You know what those books are? Those books are the emails. You see, the U.S. government says there might not be a list, but God has a list, and God has books. And these books will be opened one day. You see, you realize there's like 6.1 files in the Epstein files. And right now, only 3 million of them are out. There's still only, we only know half the story at this point. And quite frankly, I don't even know if we'll even get all of it ever. But I want you to know that there's a God in heaven that has the books, and the books are open. The books will be open one day. And Jeffrey Epstein thought he got away with it, but just you wait till the higher court gets a hold of you, Jeffrey Epstein. If that's, some people are saying he's still alive. Well, he might be. And the Bible says, and the dead were judged out of those things which are written in the books according to their works. And you guys can pay off whatever politician you want. You can go ahead and cash in all your favors that you want to. And you can avoid judgment in this earthly court, but the heavenly court is going to open the books and you will be judged according to the things that are in the books. Every person you hurt, every life that you destroy, you will not get away with any of this stuff. And that's a fact, buddy. And so there we go with that. Now, I want to say this to you as well going forward. I have covered in this video who is in the files. And it's bad. And I'm curious to see how bad it's going to be. I am blown away really at how we had to fight to get this far with the information to come out. And then the names that are in it, that didn't surprise me. A lot of stuff that was alleged years ago is now starting to become crystal clear, and some people are going to get some well-deserved apologies going forward, and some people are going to have the right to say, I told you so, going forward. So that is that. So who is in the files we just told you, but in the next episode, I want to try to get into what's in the files. And I'm going to tell you, we talked about the abuse. We talked about the bad stuff that was done to young people. But I want to tell you, it gets a lot weirder than that. I've got written down here some things I want to cover: that eugenics, psychic girls with psychic power, trauma-based mind control. Yes, time travel is mentioned in the Epstein files, esoteric magic, and even human cloning. When I tell you there is no bottom to the depravity of this stuff, I mean it. There's no end. And we're going to talk about that in the next few episodes. This is episode 6 of Spiritual Wickedness in High Places. Who is in the Epstein files? We gave you a glimpse of the people who were involved according to mainstream media reports and such like. And so thank you for that. If this video blessed you, please go ahead and smite the like button on it. And if this information is helpful to you, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel. And we appreciate you guys very much. And consider becoming a channel member today. And we will love to talk to you guys later on. God bless you. Have a good day.